Hey peeps, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk the 7 Deadly Sins, chapter 201, Comrades in Arms. First off, I will apologize to everyone that follows these videos. Apologies for the late upload. I have been very busy, and it's kind of messing up with the schedule. Anyway, let's get into it. Comrades in Arms. This chapter just continues on with the flashback that started up in the last chapter. Just this chapter showed a bit more understanding from King and Diane. They're now piecing it together. They're in the past. They're doing things. And we see them heading off after acknowledging that this person looks a lot like Elizabeth, and it's overall a much more pleasant chapter, because last chapter it was a bit annoying just that they couldn't figure out what was going on faster, but the community couldn't figure it out at first either, so whatever. Anyway, this chapter, it's a battle chapter. It's just introducing us to the Meliodas and Elizabeth of the past. At the beginning, I thought there was a nice little bit of dialogue between Meliodas and Elizabeth, and it's something they're going to talk about later. I honestly think that has something to do with their relationship. Like, really, I think that's what it is. Also, of interesting note, I think past Elizabeth's general outfit is kind of reminiscent of the uniform. I do think her outfit now is what kind of inspired Meliodas to make the uniform later. Of course, Meliodas, being the little pervert he is, made it a little bit more revealing than this Elizabeth has. But I think, he must have had some kind of happiness when he saw Elizabeth in that outfit when he first brought her into the tavern. Anyway, this chapter did show us a bit of what's going on in the past. Showed us that we were going to a village that was about to be, or was being, ambushed by the demons. We got introduced to one of the former commandments. I forget his name, but it's interesting that he also has so many arms. So it seems to me that he is most likely the one, or the commandment that Balor took over. And so, that's an interesting thing, his betrayal. You can't run away from this guy. So overall, very cool chapter. It was neat to see Meliodas wrecking face, and it was neat to see Elizabeth doing something, because this is effectively Elizabeth. It's just a different incarnation of Elizabeth. And it's good to see that King and Diane are getting it, and they're also being competent. So in this chapter, we saw that they apparently seem to have the power levels of the people that they're shadowing. So I wonder if the training process is going to be have them use this power to such a degree that they get accustomed to it, and then they can kind of unleash it in their regular bodies. Because it would be very interesting if it's actually a scenario where both Diane and King have the potential in them, but because they haven't reached a point that they know what to do with that power, that they just don't tap into it. And we have kind of seen this before. We know that Diane has been built up to have the same kind of potential that Balor has when it comes to manipulating the earth. We've seen it in whenever Diane danced, really way back when we got Matrona, how she just saw the world kind of like bending around her. And then we saw that King could effectively double his power level when it became really important at the Fairy King's Forest. So when you have these kind of clues in the past, it really does seem that King and Diane have this potential in them. It's just that they do not know how to use it. And so maybe by using the power of Balor and Gloxinia now, maybe they can get accustomed to kind of releasing that kind of power output. That's what I'm thinking, because that's really the only way they're going to get their power up. And so in this chapter, we see that Diane gets hit by the 10 Commandments. She's alright. And King is pretty much just blowing holes in the guy's abdomen. So overall, I'm very much enjoying it. It's a good way to use a flashback and a training arc all in one. I'm totally into it. Now, I do wonder, because we know that we're going to be watching a choice. We're going to see a choice that Gloxinia and Balor had to make. I do wonder, how tragic is this going to be? How sad is this going to be? Are we going to see Elizabeth dying? Are we going to see Meliodas flipping out? Are we going to see some big choices having to be made and things just kind of going awry, Like, how many chapters are we going to be here, and how long from this point is it going to take for us to see whatever tragedy unfolds? If I had to guess, giving, the general, looking at how long most chapters of the 7 Deadly Sins are, and how long their arcs are, if we consider that the whole invasion of Britannia took about, I think, 8 chapters. I think we were on that for 8 chapters. I might have to look it up again, But you know, I am gonna assume that there's gonna be at least 5 more chapters of this flashback, unless things really start to get picked up, unless like the pacing is just really exploded. Because I don't see how we can get to a point where these guys have to make this giant choice when we're still dealing with an ambush, and we probably still have to see the commandment that Gloxinia took over. So you know, it's gonna be interesting. Overall, what else can I say? It was cool to see Meliodas' wrecking face. It was neat to see demons destroying everything. There were a lot of demons. You know, when I was reading, I was watching, man, like wondering, are these demons, those gray demons, the red demons, are they the equivalent of regular humans in the human world? Because like, you know, in Taisa, like a lot of the rural humans, they get drawn in kind of the same way. They have the same features. So I wonder if it's just when it comes to the demons that these guys just have the same features. You know, it's just because like having like say 10 red demons that all look the same, it's just like, you know, where does the individuality come from in the demon clan? And it's just a question I have. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. It's I don't have that much I really want to talk about in the chapter. It's just a nice chapter. I think it just really spent a lot of time on setting up that these guys were going in to deal with an ambush, and just it spent a lot of time on the king and Diane coming to terms with what they are and where they are, which is overall good, but it doesn't really make for a lot to talk about. But yeah, I think I'll end it there for this chapter. I liked it. It was alright. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a great day.